Hey everyone, welcome back to my Flosstube. Today is March 7th and this is episode 10. You may notice I'm in a different spot today. I'm just filming in my dining room instead of in my office. I thought the lighting would be a little bit better here because I have the big sliding glass doors right next to me, so I'm getting a lot of daylight. So I think the lighting will be good for the video. So thank you to everyone who is returning, and if you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, just feel free to like and subscribe down below. I really appreciate everyone who has subscribed to my channel so far, and it's just so much fun to make these videos and to hang out with all of you. If you don't know me, my name is Christina. I'm a cross stitcher and I live in Ontario, Canada. It's been a while since my last video, and I will let you know why a little bit later. But yeah, I don't have any finishes to show you since the last video, but I did finish both my January and my February WIPGO goals, so I'll show you that. And then I have another WIP that I've been working on. Then I'm gonna just let you know what my March WIPGO goals are. And I actually have one knitting WIP to show you this video. So I'll do the knitting at the end, and if you're not interested in knitting at all, you can just leave before that part. I'll just do it at the end. Okay, so the first thing that I worked on, I showed you last time as well. So it's the trimming the tree. This is my full coverage Heaven and Earth Designs piece. The artwork is by Terry Redlin. I'm going to put a picture here of what the finished piece would look like, and then I'm also going to put a picture of where I was the last time I showed you. I showed it to you in my last video, I think. But this was one of my January WIPGO goals, and I'm just get it out to show you where I am now. Let's see. Yep. Just hold that up. Oh, lost it. There you go. So this is where, oh my gosh. This is where I'm at right now. I just get all the threads hanging nicely so you can see. And this is, I'm doing this on a 25 count Lugana, and I'm stitching with one strand over one full cross on it. I'm using all the called for DMC colors, which is, there's 88 colors in this piece. And the total size of the chart measures 700 by 403 stitches. 700 stitches wide and then 403 stitches high. I started this on May 30th of 2022. I had a lot of time in between there where I didn't stitch on it. So it hasn't gotten actually that, I want to say it's probably about 30 stitching days total. I did not work on it for a long time after I started it. And then I picked it up again around Christmas or New Year's. So the last time I showed you this, I had done my WIPGO goal for January was to do 5,000 stitches on this. And then last time I showed you, I had gotten to 4,052 stitches, and I was just taking a break on it because it was halfway through the month and I wanted to work on my second WIPGO goal and then come back to this at the end if I had some time to finish it before the end of the month. So I last time I was at 4.1% completed. So now I was able to go back to it after I finished my second goal, and I ended up completing in January. I ended up completing 6,457 stitches. So I was well over my goal, and I'm very happy with that because I did make a lot of progress on this. And I'm now sitting at 5% completed. So this is still going to take me a really long time to finish, but I'm very happy with the amount of progress that I made in January. I didn't pull this out at all in February because I was working on my other WIPGO goals and my other project that I'm trying to finish this year. So this didn't get pulled out again in February. Hopefully I can pull it out again sometime soon. But I believe I also have it on my WIPGO board again one more time to do another 5,000 stitches in the month that is called. So I will definitely get some more progress this year. We'll just see when that actually happens. And then the next thing that I worked on is a piece that you've seen quite often on here, and it's my Quaker floral puzzle by Ink Circles. I'm going to put in a picture of what the finished piece will look like when it's done. And then I'm going to show you a picture of what it looked like the last time I showed you, so you can see how much I've done. So as I've said with this piece, I want to finish it by the 1-year anniversary, which I started it on May 14th, 2022. So May 14th, 2023 would be the 1-year anniversary, and I want to be able to finish it by then. So I've set myself monthly goals for how much progress I want to make on it so that I can get to that finished so I can get it finished by the 1-year anniversary. So this is where I am now. Oh, let me get it straight. This thumbnail. So as you can see, I've gotten quite a bit done. Like, I only have that little bottom section left to do, and I'm very happy with how this looks. I love this piece so much. It's one of my favorite pieces that I work on. This is a 32 count Belfast linen in charcoal. I'm using all the called for DMC colors. Sorry if you can hear my dogs in the background. Their nails click on our floors. So like I said, I started this on May 14th, 2022. I'm currently sitting at 79% done. So the goals that I had set. So this was a WIPGO goal in January. I wanted to get to 60% complete, and I was able to do that in January. In February, it's not a WIPGO goal, but I just set monthly goals for myself on top of my WIPGO goals because I do want to complete this. So February, my goal was to get to 75% complete, and I did that. I'm at 79% now. And so coming up for March, my goal is to make it to 90% complete. So I have about 11% to do this month. And then I'll finish the last 10% in April. And that way I'll be done by the beginning of May. And if I get delayed by any reason, I still have like 2 weeks into May to finish it before the 1-year anniversary. So that is Quaker Floral Puzzle. And honestly, if you like florals and these colors are just beautiful, like you should really pick up this project by Ink Circles. It's my absolute favorite right now. Okay, next. Okay, the next piece I have was, so those were both of my WIPGO goals for January, and that is basically all I worked on in January because once I finished Quaker Floral Puzzle, I went back to trimming the tree to finish, and I just worked on that for the rest of the month. So those were the 2 I worked on in January. So then February WIPGO pulls were 2 different patterns from January. So the first one was Trick or Treat by Cottage Garden Samplings. So the last time I worked on this was around Halloween. Here is that's what the finished piece is gonna look like. I have a paper pattern of this. And that's why it doesn't get worked on as often, because I don't really enjoy working from paper patterns. And with this, with this piece, like the pattern is like really like long. It's like super long. So I haven't found a good way to like scan it into my app yet. So it's a little bit difficult to use. But this was called for February, and my goal was to finish like one square. So like one of the pumpkin squares. And I kind of just did like a random number generator. I just numbered them like 1 to 9 across and did random number generator to pick what square I was going to do. And so it ended up being this bottom square here was the one that was picked to complete. And did I show you the picture of what it looked like last time I showed you? So last time I worked on it was around Halloween. I worked on it up to Halloween and then I put it away. And so this is the finished piece. Oh, not finished piece, but I finished that square down there, that pumpkin. He's really cute. So that was my WIPGO goal for February. One of my WIPGO goals for February. This fabric is it's a 40 count swag art fabric, but I can't remember what the color is called. And I don't have a tag on it, so I'm not sure what the color is called. For the threads floss, I'm using the DMC conversion from the pattern. So it was the pattern has mostly DMC, and then it had 2 weeks dye works, and I just picked the DMC alternative for those. So I'm using all DMC, and this is, since it's 40 count, I'm doing 1 strand over 2 on this. I started this on October 2nd, 2022, and this is on my WIPGO board again, and the next time I also have to like complete 1 square. So I'll do the same thing. I'll do like random number picker to pick a number, and that will be the square that I work on for that the next time that it's called. Okay. That way, and that I keep in my little pumpkin project bag. So that brought us to the second WIPGO call for February, which was my I'll Be Home for Christmas Advent Calendar by Modern Folk Embroidery. I'm going to show you a picture of what the finished piece is going to look like. And then I will show you, I showed this in my WIP parade, so this is what it looked like the last time I showed it. And then I pulled it out in February when it was called. And my goal for February was to complete 2,000 stitches on it. So this is where, let's see, this is where I got to. So it's a good bit of progress on that. And I love how it's looking so far. Sometimes I do get bored with like repetitive, so it's like all these squares are just like repetitive. But adding all the little like the motifs that are in some of the squares was a lot of fun, and I decided just to push through with the finishing up the squares so that at the end I'll have all the fun part at the top, which is like the house and the snowflakes and stuff. So that was February's call. So fabric, this is the same fabric that I'm using for Quaker Floral Puzzle. It's a 32 count Belfast linen in charcoal. So it's like, it's not completely black, it's like a dark gray. I really like this fabric. Dark fabric does get a little bit harder to work on. You do need some good light, but I really enjoy this fabric. So yep. So I'm working on my hair. It's just driving me crazy today. Okay. And the colors for this, the white is DMC 822, and then the yellow is DMC 3852. I'm using 2 strands over 2 on this, and I started it on December 1st, 2022, so just in the Christmas season. So my WIPGO goal for February was 2,000 stitches, and I managed to complete 2,264 stitches. So that was a lot of fun to work on. So once those 2 were done for February, both my WIPGO goals, I went back to Quaker Floral Puzzle and got to what I needed to get to on that. And then it was March. So our March pulls, those are all my WIPs now that I've worked on since I filmed last. And next up, I'm going to be working on my March WIPGO goals. So the first goal I have, well, I guess, let's say, so March plans, I am going to work on Quaker Floral Puzzle to 90% completion. That's just on top of my WIPGO goals. That's just like an extra goal that I have for myself. So 90% completion on Quaker Floral Puzzle. And then Fall on the Farm is one of my WIPGO pulls. So I'm just going to show you quickly. This is what it's going to look like, the finished piece. It's like a 9-block series from Little House Needleworks. And I don't have it with me right now. But I'm just going to quickly show you what it looked like the last time I showed you. I showed it in my whip grade, I think, and I haven't worked on it since, so it looks exactly the same still. It's on a 36 count Edinburgh linen in Vintage Country Mocha. I'm doing the DMC conversion from the pattern, and I'm doing 2 strands over 2. I started this on November 8th, 2022. And so for the WIPGO goal for March is to complete 1 square of the pattern, similar to what I'm doing with the trick or treat pattern. I just want to complete 1 square, so it's 1 pattern in the series of 9. And then I do have it on my WIPGO board again a second time to complete another square. So I'll be able to, at the minimum, get 2 squares done this year on it. And then I will move on to my second WIPGO goal, which is this pattern called Fancy and ABC by Modern Folk Embroidery, and I'm going to show you a picture here. This is a new start for me. So when WIPGO board was a combination of whips and new starts that I already had kitted up that I want to get progress on. So Fancy and ABC is a piece that I've had kitted for a while, haven't started yet, and I really want to start it, so I put it on my board. So the goal for March is to complete 2,000 stitches on it. And I'll just show you, this is the fabric that I'm using for it. It's kind of like a pale bluish greenish color. It's called it's a 28 count Lugana. It's lichen gray, and I'm going to be stitching 1 strand over 1 on it. This is the color that I picked for it. It's DMC 3022. So it's going to be kind of a low contrast piece. I haven't done that before, but I'm excited to try and see what it's going to look like. So this is going to be the color that I use on it. DMC 3022. And yeah, like I said, 2,000 stitches will be my goal on this piece. So that's it for March plans. If I have time at the end of March, I will either get myself ahead on Quaker Floral Puzzle, so I'll keep going past the 90%, or I'll pick up something else that just, you know, catches my interest, or continue like further on with some of the pieces that I start with. I like to make my goals for WIPGO manageable enough that I have extra time in the month to be able to work on like whatever I feel like working on, and that way it just makes me feel like I'm not like so structured into like you have to work on this and that's it, that's all you can work on. But my goals are manageable enough for me that I can complete them rather quickly, and then I can work on either keep going on them if I am enjoying it, or I can pick up something else depending on what I want to work on. So that's it for stitching that I've worked on. So if all you're here for is stitching, thank you so much for watching, and you can feel free to leave now. But I do have, I'm going into like why I've been absent for the past, like it's been like over a month, I think, since I filmed last. And that kind of goes in with my knitting whip that I have. So I'm going to show you my knitting whip soon. So I've been away because my husband and I are expecting our first baby, due in July, at the beginning of July. And so it's just been busy getting things ready. I've also been like very tired. So sometimes after, you know, I'm still working full time. So sometimes after working on the weekends, whatever, I just don't have the energy to film. So I haven't filmed as often as I would have liked, but that's the reason why. And we're very excited for the new edition that's coming in July. And that's going to leads me into my knitting piece that I've been working on. And I'm doing this baby flax sweater. I'll show you a picture of the pattern. This is a free pattern on Ravelry, and if you've never knit a sweater, like, I think this is a great beginner piece for knitting a sweater. But anyways, this is where I'm at on it, and it's just like so tiny and cute. And since baby is due in July, obviously she's not going to be wearing this right when she's born, because it's going to be summer. So I'm actually knitting the 6 to 12 month size so that it will hopefully fit in the fall and winter. But this, so yeah, 6 to 12 month size of the flax. There's actually two patterns. One is flax, one's flax light. It's just the weight of the yarn. So this is a worsted weight yarn. Flax light uses a fingering weight yarn. And so I'm doing flax because I'm using this worsted weight yarn. And this is actually this Lion brand Heartland. I love this yarn. It's so soft. You can buy this yarn at Michael's. We don't have Joann's in Canada, but I'm sure they sell it too. But yeah, you can get this at Michael's. And this is, the color that I'm using is Grand Canyon. If you can see that. Doesn't want to focus. Grand Canyon is the colorway. And so that's what I'm working on. And I've gotten, like, I'm getting close to the sleeve separation here. So I think I need to knit like ½ an inch more, and then I can separate for the sleeves. So, yep. Flax, baby flax sweater for our baby that's coming in July. So thank you everybody for watching. If you watched this far, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's always fun to get on here and to show you guys what I've been working on, to read all your comments below. I love when you comment, and I try to get back to everyone, but sometimes I don't, and I'm sorry about that. So I would love, if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to like and subscribe below, leave a comment, let me know what you're working on, and whether or not you have other crafts that you do in addition to cross stitch. But thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Bye.